So this is Medora. The basic problem we were trying to solve is actually pretty simple. After getting a prescription, a patient still has quite a few things to figure out. What exactly is this medicine? Are there any equivalent options? How much do they cost? And where can I actually find them? So rather than having the patient jump between different platforms for each of the following things, we have built one single platform, Medora, bring them all together in one single workflow. You can see the main idea here is to understand the medicine, compare the different options, and find the care nearby. Moving on to the patient app. Here you can see the features of the patient app, the sign up page, the sign in page. We have different options: Google account via OTP, email, and etc. Here we actually have 4 different interfaces: patient, pharmacy, clinician, and admin. All of these serve different purposes. Let's begin by first going into the patient dashboard. The patient dashboard is kept fairly straightforward because the main user here is someone who may not necessarily have technical understanding of medicines. So once we come into the dashboard, we have different things the user can do here: searching for a medicine, uploading a prescription, checking symptoms, finding pharmacies, and getting medicine related assistance. So I'll start with a medicine search. A user doesn't necessarily have to know the exact brand name. The idea is that they can search using the medicine name or the active ingredient and then look at the information in a more structured way. Once we open a medicine, we can see things like active ingredient, strength, dosage form, what it is generally used for, and other relevant information. And this is where the comparison part becomes useful. So instead of just showing a list of brands, Medora tries to compare medicines based on their actual composition. Before that, I wanted to say that we can add the medicine to the basket as well. I'll talk about this later. Let's first complete the comparison part. Here we can compare different medicines, 2 or 3, more than 2 medicines, based on their active ingredients, strength and dosage forms, etc. If I'm looking at different options, I can actually compare them side to side rather than having to look at each medicine one by one. We can figure out whether the 2 products are actually comparable. We can also show things like price and pack information so the user can understand the differences before making the next decision. Next, we have the pharmacy discovery option. So once the user has understood the compared medicine, there's still one practical question: where do I get it? That's what the pharmacy section is for. Here we can look for pharmacies around a particular location and see the information available for them, including distance and availability related information. So the workflow doesn't stop at finding information about a medicine, it connects that information to actually finding a place where the user can get it. Next, we have the medicine assistant. Here, this is where we actually use the AI, but we have deliberately kept its role fairly controlled. The idea isn't to make the AI act like a doctor, it's to mainly help the user understand information that can otherwise be difficult to interpret. So for example, I can ask a question about a medicine or its usage, and the assistant can explain that information in simpler language. The important part here is that the response is not supposed to become an unsupported medical recommendation. We want the user to understand where the information is coming from and when they actually need the professional medical attention. We list down the sources of the answer as well. Next, we have symptom check. This is an important feature, important in such a way that here we input 2 or 3 symptoms we are noticing and go through the routing suggestion. It gives us a list of suggestions to follow. If the symptoms are fairly not that dangerous or emergency related, then it just gives us a simple routine step by step to follow at home. If there are warning signals such as chest pain or feeling breathlessness, then it gives immediate emergency guidance. Next, we have the interaction check. Here, like another part of the application is basically comparison. drug interaction and safety comparison. This is multi-medication compatibility and side effects check. Here the idea is to look at the patient's active medications and identify potential interaction or safety concerns. Instead of making the user manually search for every medicine combination, the information is brought together in one single place. We also show the overall safety information and individual medication checks so the user can understand what needs attention. Again, this is intended as a support layer. It's not replacing the doctor or pharmacist. Next, we have other features such as reminders, etc. Reminders actually help us noting down the medicine's intake. Once someone has the medicine, remembering the schedule is actually following it consistently becomes another part of the problem. So Medora tackles this problem to feature a reminder list where medication scheduling and adherence tracking can help track the medicine and the schedule instead of treating the prescription as a one-time interaction. Here we have graphs to prove the same as well. We can order medicines and see the history of our past orders. Going back to the main sign out page, as I had mentioned before, we have 4 different interfaces. Currently I was showing the demo data for quick resources. We have other interfaces as well, such as pharmacy, clinician, and admin. These all serve different purposes, as you can see. This is currently a working prototype, so the catalog, pricing, pharmacy, and provider information is based on demo data basically. Our next step, which we are planning to take, is to connect these workflows with verified real-world medicine and pharmacy providers and gradually expand the platform. Ultimately, Medora's goal is pretty simple: help people understand their medicines better, make more informed choices, and take the next step more safely. Thank you for watching the video until the very end. This was Team Spacron signing off.